we're going to explore the concept of regional autonomy, which is a crucial aspect of governance, allowing local areas to manage their own.
Regional autonomy in Indonesia, a reflection on governance, democracy, and local empowerment. A public lecture delivered to the students of Nusa Putra University. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished members of the academic community, dear students of Nusa Putra University, it is a great honor and pleasure for me to stand before you today in this public lecture. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the leadership of Nusa Putra University for providing this academic space where ideas, reflections, and critical thinking about our nation can be shared openly and constructively. Today, I invite you to reflect together on a crucial pillar of Indonesia's post-reform governance system, namely regional autonomy. This topic is not merely a legal or administrative concept. Regional autonomy is a living policy that shapes how power is exercised, how public services are delivered, and how justice and prosperity are distributed across our vast archipelago. Understanding regional autonomy means understanding Indonesia itself as a nation of diversity, unity, and shared responsibility. Understanding regional autonomy, beyond administrative decentralization. To begin, let us clarify what we mean by regional autonomy. In simple terms, regional autonomy refers to the authority granted by the central government to regional governments to regulate and manage their own governmental affairs and the interests of local communities within the framework of the Unitary State of the Republic of Indonesia. However, regional autonomy is not merely about transferring authority from Jakarta to the regions. It is about redefining the relationship between the state and its citizens, between the center and the periphery, and between authority and accountability. Autonomy does not mean separation, nor does it imply independence from the state. Rather, it represents a form of delegated sovereignty, where regions are empowered to govern themselves while remaining firmly integrated within the national framework. Historically, Indonesia inherited a highly centralized governance structure, particularly during the New Order era. While this system succeeded in maintaining political stability, it also produced deep structural inequalities. Many regions became dependent on the central government, unable to develop their own potential despite being rich in natural and human resources. Decision-making processes were often distant from the realities of local communities. Regional autonomy emerged as a corrective response to this imbalance. The Reform Era and the birth of regional autonomy. The fall of the New Order regime in 1998 marked a turning point in Indonesian political history. The Reform Era was characterized by demands for democracy, transparency, justice, and decentralization. One of the most significant outcomes of this period was the enactment of regional autonomy policies. The Indonesian government recognized that excessive centralization had hindered regional development and fueled deep dissatisfaction in many parts of the country. Therefore, decentralization was introduced as a strategic policy to restore trust between the state and its citizens, particularly those in the regions. This commitment was constitutionally reinforced through amendments to Article 18 of the 1945 Constitution, which clearly affirms the right of regions to regulate and manage their own governmental affairs based on the principle of autonomy. Subsequently, several laws were enacted, starting with Law No. 22 of 1999, followed by Law No. 32 of 2004, and later refined through Law No. 23 of 2014. These legal frameworks reflect Indonesia's ongoing effort to find the most appropriate balance between regional empowerment and national cohesion. The principles guiding regional autonomy. Students, it is important to understand that regional autonomy in Indonesia is guided by three fundamental principles: wide autonomy, real autonomy, and responsible autonomy. Wide autonomy means that regions are granted broad authority to manage governmental affairs except for a limited number of strategic areas that remain under the exclusive authority of the central government, such as foreign policy, defense and security, the judiciary, monetary and fiscal policy, and religious affairs. This wide authority allows regions to innovate and adapt policies to their unique contexts. Real autonomy emphasizes that authority must correspond to actual regional needs and capacities. Autonomy should not be symbolic or theoretical. It must be practical, functional, and responsive to real challenges faced by local communities. Responsible autonomy underscores accountability. Authority must be exercised not for personal or political gain, but for public welfare, democratic development, social justice, and national unity. Regional autonomy is not a license for abuse of power. On the contrary, it demands higher standards of integrity and professionalism. Theoretical foundations of regional autonomy. From an academic perspective, regional autonomy is supported by several theoretical frameworks. First, decentralization theory argues that governance becomes more effective when authority is distributed closer to the people. Local governments possess better information about local needs, making policies more responsive and efficient. Second, democratic governance theory emphasizes participation and representation. Regional autonomy strengthens democracy by enabling citizens to engage directly in local decision-making processes. Elections of regional leaders, local councils, and community participation mechanisms all contribute to democratic consolidation. Third, fiscal federalism theory highlights the importance of aligning expenditure responsibilities with revenue sources. Through fiscal decentralization, regions are given authority to manage budgets, collect local taxes, and allocate resources according to local priorities. Fourth, development theory suggests that sustainable development is most effective when it is locally driven. Uniform, centralized policies often fail to account for regional diversity. Autonomy allows regions to design development strategies based on their comparative advantages. Finally, modern governance theories such as new public management emphasize efficiency, accountability, and performance-based administration. Regional autonomy creates opportunities for innovation, competition, and improved public service delivery. Objectives of regional autonomy. The objectives of regional autonomy can be understood through four interrelated dimensions. Politically, regional autonomy aims to strengthen democracy by expanding public participation and political accountability at the local level. Citizens are no longer passive recipients of policy, but active contributors to governance. Administratively, autonomy seeks to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of government operations. Local governments can respond more quickly to public needs, reducing bureaucratic delays and administrative rigidity. Socially, autonomy encourages community empowerment and self-reliance. By involving communities in development processes, autonomy fosters social cohesion and collective responsibility. Economically, autonomy aims to enhance regional economic growth and public welfare. Regions are encouraged to optimize local resources, promote investment, and develop creative economic initiatives tailored to local conditions. Practical implementation of regional autonomy. In practice, regional autonomy is implemented through the division of governmental affairs between the central, provincial, and regency or city governments. Education, health, public works, transportation, environmental management, and economic development are among the key sectors managed by regional governments. Fiscal decentralization plays a crucial role in enabling regions to fulfill their responsibilities. Through mechanisms such as regional original revenue, revenue sharing funds, and allocation funds, regions receive financial resources to support governance and development. In sectors like education and health, regional autonomy allows for policies that are sensitive to local cultural, social, and economic contexts. In economic development, regions are empowered to promote tourism, support small and medium enterprises, and attract investment. Indonesia also recognizes special autonomy arrangements for certain regions, such as Aceh and Papua, reflecting their unique historical and socio-political contexts. Challenges and reflections. Despite its many achievements, regional autonomy is not without challenges. Disparities in regional capacity, governance quality, and fiscal independence remain significant. Issues like corruption, weak institutional capacity, and overlapping authority continue to test the effectiveness of autonomy. These challenges remind us that regional autonomy is not a final destination, but an ongoing process that requires continuous learning, evaluation, and reform. Closing remarks. The role of students and future leaders. Dear students, as members of the academic community and future leaders of this